All right, everyone. Well, if you have missed the news today, yes, there is a Nintendo Direct partner showcase happening tomorrow. I obviously will be live stream reacting to it. We'll be live roughly an hour before the show. It's going to be for 30 minutes. We already knew this was happening thanks to insiders such as Attack the Backlog. What is it? Nash Weedle. Those were like the first two to kind of talk about it. And even Attack the Backlog teasing the fifth, which I absolutely nailed, even though he tried to deny it. And then obviously Nate the Hate, given the confirmation we needed and the confirmation it's a partner showcase. Now, that's all cool, and I'm really excited for it, but I thought it would be neat to do something that I don't always do, but probably should do more often, considering that we do cover so many leaks and rumors, is I wanted to make a video that recaps all of the current, or at least the most prominent leaks and rumors for games coming to Nintendo Switch 2 that might actually be in this partner showcase. And there's even some new ones to add in today, which I'm really excited about. Some of them coming from, yes, reliable people like Nate the Hate, and even Switch Force teasing some stuff. Oh my gosh, it's going to be pretty cool, and I can't wait to dive in. Before we do, I want to remind you that, hey, we are on a road to 200,000 subscribers, and it always begins by getting, obviously, to that first extra 1,000 at 162. We're on our way there. Thank you guys so much. Hope you're enjoying this content. And look, guys, we're going to have a big podcast about all this tonight as well, featuring Roger's Vase and Favlam. Going to be a really fun one. We're going to do direct bingo. We're going to be doing, God, what else are we doing on that podcast episode? We'll be talking about the value of exclusive games. We're going to be talking about Nintendo's financial report. We're going to be talking about a lot. It's actually a really big show with a lot of really big stuff to talk about. Can't wait to get to it. But hey, we're here for the rumors, right? So let's go ahead and dive into the rumors. This is all stuff I've pretty much covered besides the last couple on my channel. So we're going to go back over all this stuff because all of these things, or maybe none of these things, are in the partner showcase tomorrow. Here we go. First up, obviously BlazBlue Entropy Effect X. Hey, this appeared obviously on the ESRB website, so we know this is coming to Switch 2. You see it's listed for Switch 2 right here. We went over this actually earlier this week, so pretty excited about that one. But also, before I get to more games, I thought this one was actually quite fascinating for one particular reason since I covered this story. And that is, look, this is a third-party partner showcase. Third parties could include third-party applications such as YouTube. So we talked about how YouTube could be launching this month for Switch 2 and how basically the story came from a official YouTube account that basically is like a YouTube Discord moderator, like they work for YouTube on the official YouTube Discord channel. Yes, that is actually a thing. What's crazy about this story, since we covered the fact that YouTube could be launching this month for Switch 2, is the video that he talked about it in, it's gone. I'm guessing YouTube forced that video to go down. So that's a pretty big indicator that he talked about something he wasn't supposed to talk about yet. It might be another sign that YouTube is yet again coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Now, we all know things are going on with Ubisoft, right? Things have always gone on with Ubisoft. Things leak out of Ubisoft all the time. And one game we've been talking about for a while is Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Now, yes, it might have been delayed till later this year or something like that, and it's not even officially announced, but you know, it could be coming. And one indicator, the most recent update on the rumor, actually has to do with this. So a statue appeared. This might be Edward Kennedy figurine. I don't know if this has been debunked or not, but the crazy thing is the official Assassin's Creed account responded to it, and most people took this as a, oh boy, here we go. And here we go again, because Assassin's Creed always leaks. It always leaks. And I like some of the self-awareness there from Ubisoft to be like, well, whatever. We're not going to outright say it, but, you know, this is what it is. Now, look, we all know Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is going to be coming to Switch 2. Literally, the director of the game said it. Just not announced yet. And Nate the Hate comes out here and says, you know, didn't Nate say Rebirth is coming to Xbox this year? I can see an Xbox and Switch launch in July or something. He says it is. Xbox and Switch 2 should release at the same time, just as Remake did. So there you go. Just more confirmation that Final Fantasy Rebirth is coming and coming this year. And I just wanted to point out that, yeah, that could be yet another game coming. Next up, this story is actually about a Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive that the developer themselves confirmed would be in the Switch 2. So I guess not really a leak or a rumor, or is it a leak? Because the person who posted it that works for this company, the comment was deleted. We're talking about Orbitals, of course. Orbitals looked amazing last time we saw it, and they left a comment on a video on Bilibili, the official Orbitals account did, and that comment's now gone, so I can't even show it to you, but basically it said we were going to appear in the next Direct. Well, the next Direct's been announced. So this is actually one that is a leak from the company themselves? Because if the comment wasn't deleted, I would just say it's an announcement. But the comment was deleted, suggesting that whoever was on that social account wasn't actually supposed to say anything. So, whoops. Now, getting back to Nate the Hate, he did a podcast a week ago, and on that podcast, he gave some predictions for 2026 and all that. But within all of those predictions, he gave some things based on what he's been hearing from his sources, things coming to Switch 2. And some of those games are really exciting ones, such as Expedition 33 will be coming to Switch 2 this year. Other games you've heard of include Atlas and Metaphor Refantasio. So, Metaphor Refantasio, a lot of people really want that game over on Nintendo, so I think that's going to be a good get, and that's supposed to be coming this year. And then he heard, at least under consideration, not necessarily coming this year, but we'll throw it out there, Final Fantasy 16, essentially. He says another game from Square Enix that I've heard is under consideration, and I don't know if it'll necessarily come out this year. Won't be surprised if it's announced this year, is Final Fantasy 16. So, again, I don't know that one's necessarily going to be in there, but Expedition 33, Metaphor Refantasio, why not? Next up, hey, do you guys like Rayman? Well, Rayman was rated in Australia, and while this doesn't necessarily mean it's coming to Switch 2, it's Rayman, guys. What are we doing? Like, of course it's going to be on Switch 2. Like, it's Rayman. We're not talking about like something like GTA where it's like, yeah, if it is on Switch 2, it might be years away. Dude, it's Rayman. There's no reason for it not to be there, day and date. Now, we got to get into a little bit of Resident Evil stuff. There's always rumors and all this stuff coming for, Resident Evil. And Nate the Hate's at the forefront of this, saying, hey, congrats if possible. Can you tell us if RE rumors for Code Veronica are true? Says, yes, Code Veronica is being remade and in deep development, targeted release in the first half of 2027. Sometimes they tease things early. I don't expect this to be in the partner showcase tomorrow, but I wanted to throw it out there just because it is a rumor that exists. And it's not the only rumors existing for Resident Evil. So also in Nate Thane's podcast, remakes of 2, 3, and 4 should be coming to Switch 2 this year. So those are probably more realistic to potentially see, although they might wait till after Requiem comes out to talk about that. Now, we have some other stuff to get into as well, because we talked about Rayman. I should have put this in that right section, but Jonathan, this guy seems to be an insider. People are claiming it's fairly accurate from France. I don't really know a lot about him. He talks about a bunch of stuff here, but the big one here is, is this a remake of Rayman Legends? And then he does the eyeballs. I don't know how reliable this guy is, but I'm just throwing it out there because we already had some Rayman rumors floating out there, so why not? We're kind of flying on through here. And again, I told you, I have some of these stories out of order because we're going back to Resident Evil here with Dust Golem, one of the most reliable insiders for Resident Evil, saying, no, there is not a Resident Evil 5 remake that's going to be announced this year. Instead, later this year, a remake that starts with a C and ends with a Ode Veronica. So again, this is just adding more and more credence to Code Veronica, potentially being announced this year. So there you go. Throwing that out there as a possibility. Now this next one, I'm actually just going to play the clip directly because the source is the Nintendo podcast. Really, the source is Kiwi Talks on the Nintendo podcast. So I'm just going to let him talk. And if you already saw this story in one of my prior videos, you know what's up.
Well, I look forward to playing it on Switch too.
Yeah. But it's a pretty game, and the boss fight was a lot of fun that we all got to play.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. And the other one I'm excited for is Halo remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably. But I know there's other third parties that I can't really talk about.
I'm not gonna let this go. Did you just confirm Crimson Desert for Switch 2?
Maybe.
He looked straight in the camera when he did it.
No, he really did. He was clip farming. Oh my goodness.
I'm just like, hold up. Wait a second. Technically, GameStop was the OG league for it.
Wow.
So yeah, Crimson Desert. We technically kind of were hinted at this back at PAX West, not like said out loud because we're in public setting, but it was like kind of a wink, wink, hush, hush. It's coming to Switch 2 from the game dev. So that one I sort of knew about, but it's always nice to hear somebody else just come out and directly say it because we couldn't necessarily directly confirm what 100%, right? A hush, hush, wink, wink is not a direct, it's coming. Kiwi Talks did that though. So Crimson Desert, holy crap. Next up, look, we know there's a 10-year contract for Call of Duty. Call of Duty seems to be coming. Need dev kit support. They didn't have them. The first Call of Duty is from Jez Corden. Says the first Call of Duty Switch version is nearly done and launching in a few months. And just to add some credence to the Call of Duty stuff, this was in some code-based stuff. It looks like Nintendo and Call of Duty is imminent. Except whenever the next round of Nintendo announcements is, you can see the platform here. This is on the website for Call of Duty. So take that for what you will. Obviously, Call of Duty is something many people expect to come, and they probably should. Now, here's one we actually never talked about, but would make a lot of sense because this game already exists in the ecosystem of the Nintendo Switch, and we're talking about The Witcher 3. And actually, there might be some DLC coming, which could come, obviously, with an update for Switch 2. So The Witcher 3 DLC to release in May 2026. Again, the source is in Polish, so we're relying on some translations here. It says grain of salt, so obviously take all rumors with grains of salt. It says the release of the expansion pack for Witcher 3 is scheduled for May 2026, according to Noble's analyst who recommends accumulating CD Projekt Red shares. So the analyst said at Noble Securities has updated the schedules and budgets for CD Projekt's flagship projects in his latest report. He anticipates a paid add-on for The Witcher 3 in May 2026 and the release of Witcher 4 in Q4 2027. Now, again, this could all just be guesses. I want to be very clear about this. You know, I don't know if he has any inside information, but he's suggesting people buy shares. So if he's suggesting people buy shares, he must be pretty confident. Again, just throwing that out there. Also, by the way, do you guys like Spyro the Dragon? Well, this was something like all the way back from May or I guess March or I don't know, 2024, which would suggest that maybe this game is coming out. We're talking about senior concept artist or Toys for Bob. You see Call of Duty there, which isn't a shock. They're working on Activision Blizzard, but Spyro. So that seems to be what's going on here. Someone found this last year. And you can kind of go through this guy's video here and see like different parts. Basically, it sounds like it's coming. I don't really know a whole lot about it, but it's a rumor that's floating out there, so it helps create some expectations. Another thing that there's expectations for now is Monster Hunter Wilds, and that's because of stuff like this. Chinese data miners have uncovered local multiplayer interfaces for Switch 2 and the PC version. So yeah, there was like all these data mine leaks for Monster Hunter. I believe that we have some more data mine stuff here, images and all this stuff. Like, there's just a lot of stuff floating out there for Monster Hunter Wilds. Definitely looks like a lot of work was done on it to get the Switch 2. That could obviously be announced today. You know what could also be announced today? Look, there's obviously Fallout 4 and all that, right? That wouldn't be a new announcement, but how about Fallout 3? Fallout 3 Remastered on the way. So Fallout 3 Remastered is planned to release. Yes, I'm not certain of the reveal window for it, though. So Nate the Hate coming through yet again. All right, setting aside, obviously, the hate stuff there. Now we get to new things, and this is where I really wanted to get to. Again, just recapping a whole bunch of stuff there, kind of rapid fire. Now we get to the new stuff here, and this one, look, this isn't giving us any specific details other than one thing that Switch Force is teasing. A shadow drop. But not just any shadow drop, a killer shadow drop. Now, shadow drops are often things that haven't been announced or things that have been announced, but we don't have a release date for. My mind is starting to think, is it Elden Ring? Now, look, he doesn't say that, but Elden Ring would be a pretty big deal if it is shadow drop tomorrow. It was delayed. It was supposed to come out last year. Maybe. It could also be something else entirely. But, you know, I'm guessing Elden Ring, but that's not what Switch Force is saying. Just expect some sort of big shadow drop. And last but not least, this probably isn't in the partner direct. Probably is an announcement for later this year. But Nate the Hate dropped a predictions video today, and there's for the partner showcase, and there's not really a whole lot of new stuff in there. He doesn't add anything new that he hasn't talked about before in terms of like from his sources, outside of one nugget. And this one nugget is a big deal, but it's more of a big deal for probably next year. But it doesn't mean it can't be teased this year. We're talking about Final Fantasy VII Part 3. According to Nate the Hate, Square Enix is expected to announce this year that Part 3 of Final Fantasy VII Remake will release simultaneously on PS5, Nintendo Switch 2, Xbox Series, and PC. There will be no exclusivity for PlayStation, which, by the way, Square Enix kind of said they were done with the exclusivity thing anyways, so that's not really surprising. But obviously, the first two dropped on PlayStation. Part 1 and Part 2 dropped on PlayStation first. So there you go. I doubt that's announced today. I feel like that would be more like a September announcement, September Direct potentially, or they might just announce it during the summer game fest or something like that. But it is out there now. It is a rumor. It is out there, so we had to throw it out there. Obviously, Rebirth, high possibility of that being shown. There's a lot of things that could be shown tomorrow. And while you could expect me to drop some speculation here at the end of all the rumors, I'm not, because I have a direct bingo board I need to fill out for the podcast tonight. That's where you're going to see my predictions for the partner showcase and other great conversations. Did you know that Rogers Base went hands-on with Mario Tennis Fever and Resident Evil and Pragmata? Did you know he went hands-on with that? He also went hands-on with Bella Bella Park and Virtual Boy. Yeah, he went hands-on. So we're going to be asking him some questions about that stuff because it's only appropriate that we do so. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I am Nathaniel Rebel Dance from Nintendo Prime, and I'll catch you guys in the podcast tonight. So I hope. 8 p.m. Central.